All right, good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing this morning? Good? All right, can you turn to your partner on your left and right and say, I appreciate you? Turn to them on the left and right and say, I appreciate you. Can you do that very now? Turn to them and say, I appreciate you, and give them a high five and say, so glad that you are here this morning. Give yourself a big hand for being here this morning. So thank you so much for having me up here to share a little bit of insights onto what Imagine Leadership is all about for breakthrough success. I hail from Kuala Lumpur, and if you're not on LinkedIn yet, do connect with me. I would love to have this conversation and to continue this conversation with all of you. So just scan the code, and later on, you can also reach out to me on some of the options that you can also enhance your organization with. So, over the last 18 years, I've been privileged to travel to many different countries, and Mumbai is one of the cities I've loved visiting. So this is my fourth time back in Mumbai and my third visit at the Congress. And talking about the travels, anyone is familiar with this picture that you see on the screen? Anyone familiar with this? This Disneyland. Yeah, Nina said Disneyland. All right. What about this? Anyone familiar? Epcot. Yeah, very good. So Hollywood Tower, and you are absolutely correct, right? If you look at this, what you're seeing here is actually the Disney Park. The Disney Park in Orlando in Florida. So they have the different theme parks in the various large-scale opportunity. So, I was visiting the animal kingdom, and I came across this beautiful place. And I was curious because it was in July. I visited in July. And will it snow in the US in July? Not really, right? So I saw a snow-capped mountain, and I said, hey, let's take a picture. And later did I realize it was actually Mount Everest. Mount Everest, right in the state of US. And I said, okay, great. As I was walking around, I later realized it was actually a roller coaster ride. Now, how many of you love roller coasters? Wow, we have some roller coaster fans here. Okay, awesome. Now, honest to be true, I am not a big roller coaster fan. But because of peer pressure, everyone who walked past me said, hey, John, you've got to try this amazing roller coaster ride called the Expedition Everest. And I said, okay, yeah. So by no choice, I kind of like, all right, let's buckle up. So I went on the roller coaster. And once you're locked in, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Expedition Everest. Once you're locked in, no way you can escape. So I was going up, my heart was pounding. I was like, oh, is this really a good decision? Is this good for my mental health? You know, this is really scary. So as I was going up, it looks pretty okay. And it was kind of like rolling along. I thought it was pretty nice. Until I came to this picture. It was like, where is this going to next? And this is where the real ride actually happens. So from there, I was plunged back into the bank into total darkness. I have no idea what was happening. I was swung from the right to the left to so many things. I thought this would be the last day of my life. Anyone experienced that before? That you are suddenly put into a darkness and you have no idea what was happening. So during that time, I experienced all these kind of emotions. You know, it was really uncertain. It was fearful. You know, there was so much disruption happening within me. And if for those that have gone for roller coasters, you know they have this beautiful time where they take a picture of you. When you're coming down and you're like, ah! And then they'll capture a picture and say, you can take a code and collect your picture if you like to. You know, the place that you look terribly, yeah, I wouldn't even want to talk about it. So as I think about my roller coaster ride, I was thinking about the metaphor of how this happens in organization, right? We were talking about Back to the Future. We're talking about the VUCA world. We spent a lot of time sharing a little bit about that: volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and also ambiguity. So with that, I'd like to just share this acronym with you that is called GRIT. That is called what? GRIT, right? G-R-I-T. And this is what GRIT is all about. Okay, so the first one is about having a growth mindset. In working with organizations across the world, I have learned that leaders need to embrace that. And what is the growth mindset? Growth mindset is really about, are you embracing challenges? Challenges will be there. We spoke about mental health earlier. We spoke about the different options, right? Do you see challenges as an obstacle? Do you avoid it? And this was inspired by the work of Carol Dweck, right? When she spoke about a mindset, how we can actually support you. So, as you look at these 5 elements, I'd like you to think about what is a growth mindset to you. Out of these 5 points, what would you be strongest in? Now, I love coming to Mumbai, and in Mumbai, I saw a video about this boy called Ravi. Anyone familiar with Ravi? Is there a Ravi here? Okay, so I'm going to play this quick video, and let's take a look at what is unique about Ravi.
Italian, German, Arabic, Iranian,
Can you show me?
Which language?
French.
Oh, c'est la M des ponts, c'est la 50 roupies, c'est joli. C'est la M des ponts, c'est la 1 euro, c'est joli, c'est la 50 roupies. 50 roupies, c'est la M des ponts. C'est joli, right?
Okay, yeah.
After Italian.
Italian.
Sta bello, paone, c'è 50 rupee a uno e sta bonito paone. Poi non bonito barato, mira te che sta uno paone 50 rupee. Sta bello. After German, Pan Frieda wunderbar. 50 Rupien, schön schön, wunderbar. 50 Rupien, 1 euro. After Arabic, lala thaus kar di खूप छान आता 50. आता छान बघा त्याला 50. After Irani, Maba kadi thaus 50 rupiah. Ada 30 50 ada 50. After Russian, Maulin, 50 rupiah. Ada Ruski ras ka pun Nargis. Ada 50 rupiah. Ada 30 ada Croatia 50 rupiah. After Japanese, kuja kuno mini na takai. Korewanu goju rupini, korewanu haku goju ne. Sayonara ni.
How did you learn all this stuff?
I are selling every tourist coming because every tourist.
So let me pause there for a while. What did you notice that was unique about Ravi? Yeah, the confidence and his ability to speak many languages. So when I saw this video, I was really impressed. He definitely speaks more languages than me. So when I came on a kind invitation of Dr. Bhatia to the HRD Congress, I heard that he mentioned about the hanging garden, about the underwater tank. And I decided with a couple of speaker friends to go and visit the hanging garden. And interestingly, I saw a similar person. And this person was speaking a different language. So as I walked nearer to this close group, I would like you to take a look at the second video and take a look at what is unique about this video.
Coming that.
Bonjour, c'est Chuchuli, c'est la PM du pont, à 150 rupees, c'est la $2, aqua merci beaucoup. In English, you want a peacock fan, walking Indian air condition, whatever AC. And in Italian costa bello, power nomi caro, bellissimo, 250 rupiah, gracias. And German cook madam kushin wunderbar, für den nächsten Feuer, 2 Euro. Und wieder den Tschüss, guten Tag. In Chinese, 中国你好，这个中国毛，这个很好，这个真的红酒海边毛，200卢比，这个没有这些毛，再见。In Japanese, kuchukuno takai, kuchukuno no kan ni haku rupi, ranai, arigato sayonara konnichiwa, godaimasu, sayonara.
Wow, good. You got Arabic.
عربي ده طاووس يستن طاووس ده واحدة 150 رupia ده حبة واحد 10 ريال ولا بعدين يشترين خدها بس ولا بعدين يشترين
Excellent.
Then costa bello, bellissimo, bravo. Allora dai, non vi prego.
You've got Switzerland. You have Switzerland.
Switzerland, Swiss.
Not yet.
Swiss I know pan German.
Swiss German.
Swiss people talk, then I talk because I don't know very hard, you know. Somewhat. Talk to him.
Speak to him.
How are you and how's it? How's it?
Wie geht's?
We get in Zen.
Wie geht's denn Sinn?
Actually, in Swiss German.
Yeah, so what do you notice about this second video? So I went to this person and I say, by the way, do you know of a person, Ravi? And he said, hi, that's me. I'm Ravi from YouTube. Whoa, right? So yeah, there was Ravi. So what I've seen is the actual person. The one that I showed obviously has grown up. It was much taller and bigger, has grown up. But what do you notice about the languages that he spoke? There was one additional new language that he spoke. Anyone picked it up? Chinese, absolutely. You know, I thought it was great, but he never stopped learning, right? And because of the dynamics of the market change, the environment change, he learned a new language to capture opportunity. So, if you were to see Ravi, obviously he was selling a lot of the peacock fan. Would you consider buying a peacock fan from Ravi if you get a chance to see him? You would, right? Do you think I bought a peacock fan from him? No. No, I didn't, right? So Ravi came and said, hey, you know, what brought you to the Hanging Garden? He said, yeah, we spoke in the HRD Congress. There was that Touchland Ants. And I saw your video. We decided to visit. And said, oh, great. So you travel? Yeah, we travel to where the conferences will take us. Well, in that case, he went to the bag and he took out another bag. And he said, let me introduce you to this thing that's called the eye of the peacock. And the eye of the peacock will protect you wherever you travel to. Wow. When he said that, guess what happened? Yeah, I didn't buy one, I bought the whole thing. Yeah, so I bought the whole thing. I mean, it was great, but what really impresses me was his ability to learn. He never stopped, and that's the attribute. So last couple of days, I made a trip back to Hanging Garden, hopeful to see my dear friend. It was on Valentine's Day. I guess he was busy having Valentine's celebration. But Ravi was not there. But what was really impressive was his growth mindset approach. So I'd like you to take a picture of this if you want to, right? And ask yourself, out of the 5, where you are. Give yourself a rating where you are, right? Because that's key. Are we good? All right, fantastic. Okay, so let's move on. Let's talk about resilience, right? So having a growth mindset is important, but what about resilience? So the World Economical Forum, in the latest update, they shared this information on what are some of the top skills, right? And you're welcome to take a picture of some of the top skills that is crucial for your success. And resilience came out number 3, right? Your ability to be resilient, flexible, and have the agility. And that led me to see, because out of the 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 9, 6 of these are all emotional intelligence related. So ask yourself, how are you as a HR leader? How are you managing the emotional intelligence of yourself, of your organization? And this is where I work with 6 Seconds EQ International, and we have a model that supports. So one of the things that I'd like you to consider is your ability to recognize your patterns. And patterns can be the emotions that you're going through. Patterns can be emotions that people are experiencing, that you are experiencing. And, you know, I was just sitting in a car going through the traffic in Mumbai. I need to manage my patterns because they are really good drivers. I have the horns, I have, you know, they're so close, but everything is all good. Because when you recognize your pattern, you will be able to navigate your emotions. So just focus on these 2, patterns and emotions. Anyone know Steph Curry? Any basketball fans here? Ah, fantastic, right? So Steph Curry, he's only 6'2", right? Not very tall in the NBA world, in the basketball world. He's often underrated, right, in whatever he do. But he has found a way to create a niche for himself as one of the best 3-pointers in his world of basketball. And he has even led the Golden State Warriors to 4 NBA championships. So 4 NBA championships in 8 years. He is the number 1. He has shot the most 3-pointers and still playing actively in the age of 36. So that is about resilience. Sometimes we may not feel adequate, we may feel underrated, but look at what is your niche that can make you successful. Anyone know of this book, Chicken Soup for the Soul? Jack Canfield? Yeah, I see a couple of hands. So Jack, in his book, The Success Principle, came up with this principle called E plus R equals to O. So I'd like to share this formula with you. E plus R equals to O. So let me share a story, quick story, right? So I love basketball, and there was this opportunity to go to Chicago at one time in my career. And in Chicago, who is the famous NBA team? The Chicago Bulls, right? Anyone knows the Chicago Bulls? Who's the famous player there? Michael Jordan. You know Michael Jordan? Yeah, Michael Jordan, right? So I was very excited. I booked my ticket. I checked the schedule. There was a game playing in April. So I boarded the flight. I was supposed to arrive Chicago at 12 noon. 7 o'clock is the game. Plenty of time. But guess what? You know what happened that day? Flight delay. Right? So from arriving at 12, I ended up arriving at 6 o'clock. Because I had to be detoured from Paris to Heathrow, Heathrow to Chicago. And not only that, my luggage was missing. Anyone can relate to that? You know, you can have the best plans. You know, I was so excited. I planned this 7 months before. What would you have done in my position? Would you have just gone to the hotel and said, forget it? Or would you have still gone to the stadium? Gone to the stadium, right? Yeah, because I had nothing to check in, right? My luggage was missing. So I did go to the stadium, and guess who I saw? Who do you think I saw? You are right. I saw Michael Jordan. So I'm so glad I made that trip, right? So sometimes events can happen, but it is the art that determines your outcome. So I was glad I saw Michael Jordan. Well, the statue, at least. So it wasn't him in person. But hey, you know, after all the things that I went through, statue is better than nothing, right? So I took a picture. Yeah, so that's me. That was all I had. I only had a backpack, and I was at the stadium. Watched about 5 minutes of the game left, you know, by the time I reached there. But it is about this. So what I've learned is this. Your E plus R determines your outcome. It is not what happens to you, but how you choose to respond rather than react that determines your outcome. Do you agree with me? Because things happen, right? You know, situations happen. Sometimes it's beyond your control, but your response will determine whether you're at peace, as we have been shared earlier many times, right? So discover your peace, discover your response. So my key question is, how can you improve your response and your resilience to achieve the outcome that you wish to have? Are we good so far? Are you learning? Can you turn to your partner on your left and right? And ask them, are you having fun learning? Turn to them very quickly, ask them, are you having fun learning? Okay, very good. So let's continue. The third one is called influence, right? The third one is called influence. Now, Gartner came out with the latest report on the new call for human leadership. And what they discover is people are looking for leaders that are authentic, that are filled with empathetic, adaptive. And it was very interesting that Zamir asked me to facilitate a session on influence, how to get the buy-in yesterday. And as I listened to my dear panelists yesterday in the session I was moderating, these are the same elements that came out. They are practitioners. They are people working in organization. And these are the same elements that are coming out. So ask yourself, are you seeing this in your organization? If not, what can you do more of? So I'd like to share 3 approaches for you, right? 3 power questions as a coach on how you can help yourself, help your team, help your leaders. Ask yourself, right, what should I start to do or do more of? What should I stop doing or do less of? Because we have blind spots. We may not be aware. What should I continue to do that is already working well? You don't need to change everything. Have conversation. Use questions to engage with your leaders. Be authentic and create that influence there. So far so good? So what is G? Growth mindset. What is R? Resilience. What is I? Influence. Fantastic. So how can you influence with more authenticity, empathy, and adaptability? Right? How can you influence more with that? Now, the final one that I'd like to share with you is on trust. Right? It's on trust. And in trust, I would like you to think about the people that you have high trust with. What are some qualities that are part of them? I'm sure there are people that you respect. I'm sure in the army, trust is very important. But what are some of the qualities? I'd like you to think about that. Can you just shout out what are some of them? I'll try to listen to you. Anyone? A quick shout out? Walk the talk. What else? They're honest. What else? Reliability. Anything else? Integrity. Anything else? Consistency. What else? Understanding. Taking responsibility. Well, that's very important, especially in the army, right? So again, fantastic values that you have mentioned. So I would like to share with you this additional 4 C's, right? Because the people that you have high trust with typically would have the knowledge, the skills, and the attitude to be competent in whatever they're doing. Because it's about the ability plus the willingness to do it. Then we have the commitment, right? Have you heard of NATO? Does NATO here means anything to all of you? Not the North American Treaty Organization. In Malaysia and some of the Asian countries, when we say NATO, it says what? No action, talk only, right? So we want to see more commitment. You need to show your presence, right? So it's about all commitment. Whatever you say, make sure you do it because that will enhance it. And be consistent. I heard consistency being mentioned too. And the last one is your ability to care. So, a bonus for you. Recently, I paired up with this organization called A Better Place to Work. How you can engage leadership. And I was pretty excited because in the solution, they have some of these things that can help build better culture within your teams, whether it is sales, service, or leadership. So there's an assessment opportunity that you can get a gauge, a pulse of where your organization is. So as a gift to you, right, as a gift to you, I would be happy if your organization, if you like to get a feel of where your organization is, the mood at work. Is that important? Right? Because you want to get a pulse, right, to find out what is the mood at work for the people. This is what I'll invite you to do, right? Just connect with me on LinkedIn. If you feel that this is useful for your organization, send me a note and put mood at work so I know where we met, so that I can send you a complimentary assessment for you and the organization, right? We'll have a chat and then we'll send you. How does that work? Is that good? Right, so that's my gift to all of you. If you like that, take a picture of it and let's connect and talk later. But this is a great platform to find out the mood at work to support you. Because as you redefine, as you want to go back to the future, you want to find out where you are for now. All right? So with this, I'm coming pretty much to the end of the presentation with the time allocated. We spoke about the VUCA word. Who can remember what is VUCA? Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Now, how amazing if you can have a different VUCA. A VUCA that is filled with a great vision of understanding, of clarity, and with agility. Right? So this is really going back to the future because this is what the future is looking at. So, the 4 areas, great. Growth mindset, resilience, influence, and trust. Now, everyone still remembers this trip of mine? I was really frightened. I was really fearful. When I came down, I guess I survived. And that's why I'm still here. And because of that, I went 3 more times to the roller coaster ride. So if you're in India, if you know there's a good roller coaster in Mumbai, please let me know. I'll be happy to experience that. So again, I was filled with a different set of emotions, and it just made me so excited to be part of the process. So, what would be your great expedition? And with that, I also had some of my fellow Malaysians here. I'm not sure whether they're in the room, but we just want to say thank you so much to HRD Congress, to the board, for just giving. Let's give them a hand, right? To all the team members at the HRD Congress. for all the vision they have to acknowledge the work that some of my fellow Malaysians did during the Congress. So with that, where would you rate yourself 6 to 12 months from now? Coming back to the growth mindset. All right? Love to have more conversation with you. Time is not on our side, but thank you so much for the opportunity, and I wish you success in all you do. All right? Turn to your partner and say, you are amazing. Turn to your partner and just give them a high five and say, you are amazing. And thank you so much for that. And with that, I say thank you back to you, Nina.
Well, I will say, you are amazing.
Thank you, Nina.
And thank you so much. Please help me thank Jonathan for his presentation and insightful comments. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you.